I don't think I can close the waiting room though.
Okay, I will do that.
I'm going to mute all, so I might actually mute Doug.
Okay. I'm back.
Great.
And so it's your show, Doug.
All right, this is it. We got, what, 6 people here, it looks like?
Yeah, we had about 20 signed up. People might pop in. They might be finishing up or need to take a break, but I would say we can just get rolling.
Sounds good. Okay, hello everyone, I'm Doug. Saw a couple folks that I know. So what I wanted to start with was a little background on kind of how I first came into sustainability and kind of something that really triggered my interest in this space. Back in 2014, my wife and I, we went to Madison, Indiana. It's on the southern border of Indiana on the Ohio River. It's between like Cincinnati and Louisville. Super cool place. It was July 4th weekend. They have like boat racing and they had this biplane that was like doing stunts and stuff. Also, Clifty Falls is around there. It's a state park. So we were going to go to the pool. I needed a book to read, and I bought a book. I bought this book in Madison. It's called, it's backwards, The Limits to Growth. And this is a book, it was published in the 1970s. And essentially what it describes is they use computer modeling to illustrate the fact that the Earth cannot sustain the type of growth that we're currently projected to, just the overall drive for growth that we're trying to, as a society, continually strive for, right? So they have this concept of overshooting the Earth's capacity to replenish or absorb, replenish the natural resources or absorb the waste that we put back into the environment, okay? So fast forward to today, I think it's been around since 2017. So if you're looking at the Miro board, the Earth Overshoot Day is kind of the first slide there. March 14th is the day this year when, if everyone in humanity lived like we do in the United States, we would have consumed all the natural resources the Earth can replenish within 2021. So essentially, we would use 4 Earths every year, right? So we're obviously beyond what the Earth can sustain. Overall, as humanity, global population, we use 1.6 Earths every year. So how did we get here? Does everybody, do you follow me, or do I have to bring you along?
The easiest is to bring them along.
Okay. Let's see. All right, so this linear process, a take, make, waste process is kind of what got us in this situation where we're using more of the Earth's resources. So we have a product or service concept that we want to bring it to life. It provides some value to users. And from there, we go extract raw materials or acquire the resources that we need. We manufacture it, we market it, we package it, we ship it to the store where you and I purchase it. When we're done with it, we throw it away, right? So I think of a jar of pickles, though, it's kind of short-sighted, right? That jar is produced simply to deliver pickles. It has no value beyond that. It's a very isolated process. It doesn't consider at any of the steps really how the jar provides value to the other systems that it relates to. It's wasteful, right? It's kind of inefficient to produce and throw away something like that. It's exploitive, right? It's particular vulnerable populations or taking stuff from quote unquote free environment, natural resources, right? We kind of exploit those things. and it's overall unsustainable. So the next slide is the we've been bad designer slide. So essentially, right, if we have a problem, we have to admit our role in the problem. And so not considering sustainability has made us kind of bad designers. So if we think about everything around us is designs, whether you're a professional designer or not, the things that we interact with, the processes, you know, if you're in government or you're in some business process, everything that is created is designed by humans for humans, kind of thing. So with that in mind, 80% of the ecological impact of a product that, you know, it has on the environment is kind of baked in at the design phase. So there's a lot of opportunity to change this. Let's see. So the next one, the alternative, is a circular economy. So this one, the difference is, right, it's very forward looking. So it thinks about the products that we produce and how they will be used beyond their initial value. The products are interconnected to the other systems that they relate to. It's regenerative, right? It kind of feeds back into the environment as nutrients in the soil or clean air, clean water. It's equitable, you know, kind of the raise all boats kind of thing. Everybody, you know, finds value in the circular growth, and it's sustainable over time. So again, it's a circle instead of linear, very obvious. The steps are the same except for the last one, the recapture step. And that's where essentially, I like the pickle jar idea. I don't know. You know, if I finish with my pickle jar, I'm done with my pickles, I wash it, and then I use it as a cup. So I kind of make that little arc back to purchase and use, so I can reuse that. Or my pickle jar, I can recycle it. Or, you know, if there's like, I know like beer bottles comes to mind, right? Like or milk bottles, you know, they sterilize them and they put the product back in it, put a new label on it, and they reship it out, kind of thing. So how do you continue to recapture product value over time? So next slide, everybody. So there's what we're going to do in our workshop here is explore the question, are there alternate or better ways to meet user needs with circular strategies? So we got our recipe here. We're going to do some introductions, get to know each other. We're going to pick a product. I've thrown out some examples that you can pick from. You can do something new. It's totally, you know, you don't have to pick those. We'll describe the user's needs of that product. So what value do they get out of it? We're going to map its current life cycle. We're going to ideate alternative ways to bring that to life using some kind of the you know, reuse or something like that. And then we're going to describe that concept, and then we're going to reflect on what we talked about. So given that there's only 8 of us, I think we should all work on one Miro board together. So we are going to work. So if you haven't used Miro before, I've got sticky notes and things. So you can drag and drop sticky notes. You can double click to edit them. I do have some voting dots. You can put voting dots on things when that comes about. You can use the space bar to kind of move around Miro. I'd love to see your faces. We're going to be time boxed, so we don't run over time. You can ask for help, and it's okay if you don't get it. Just, again, ask. So instead of doing breakout groups, if everybody, so I'm going to zoom way out. Well, everybody can probably zoom way out and see that there's like all these different panels. So I've got group one. If everybody comes over here to group one, let's see. And keep forgetting how to do that. So now we're all going to work. I'd love it if you come off mute. But what we're going to do is this first exercise is essentially we're going to introduce ourselves. So these are the Sustainable Development Goals. There's 17 of them. The United Nations created these. They want to try to achieve them by 2030. What I'd like us to do is take a Post-it note, put your name on it, and kind of stick it on the one goal that you have a personal interest or passion Or if you don't really care and you just want to stick it on one, it's totally fine. But if you stick it on there, then we'll kind of go around the room and introduce ourselves. Carl, I stole yours. You can't do water. Just because you work for a place with water.
I mean, it's literally my job, Doug.
I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move so you can have it.
It's okay. There are other things I care about. But Steven took one of them. Dang it.
Dave, I don't hear you. This is our time. We can talk and hang out. Let's do this.
Oh man, look at Dave changing his typeface. So fancy.
Yeah, one thing I mentioned in chat is that I like how this presentation is a lot like my environmental ethics class back in college about 12 years ago. I got to hear a lot of this stuff. It's pretty awesome.
Cool. Yeah. No, there's a lot of it is out there on the internet and stuff. So yeah, it's really popular. All right. So
Yeah.
this is everybody. We'll just go in order and introduce ourselves. Like whoever's on number 1, and then we'll go to number 4, 5, 6, 12, 14. Tommy.
Okay, my name is Tommy. I'm a graduate at Kinsey Academy as a UX UI designer, and I kind of just like the idea of no poverty, kind of to a point where I guess I was gonna do like zero hunger, but I feel like poverty is kind of like the same, almost like the same thing with no hunger. So that's why I kind of pick where everyone can just move up in the system of life wherever country you're in, hopefully. But yeah.
Great.
All right. Yeah, I'm Stephen Shepard. I picked education just because I don't know. I found that having a quality education has helped me out, and I think being able to let everybody have access to that would be a good thing, just to be more aware of what's going on around you and what's going on in the world, and being able to make informed decisions based on that. Not necessarily in the angle that you need to get a college education to get a job, because I think honestly trade should be involved in that more and more these days, but more so just maybe even just general studies, college degree, just so you can get perspectives from a lot of different minds.
Thanks, Stephen. So I'm Doug. Everybody knows me. Gender equality, raise all boats. Number 6.
I'm Carl. I'm a product designer for 120 Water, and our job literally is trying to promote public health and protect public health. Big thing we're doing right now is helping water utilities to make sure that they're not sending lead into people's homes and trying to eliminate lead in people's drinking water.
Hello, Carl. Kimber.
Hi, I'm Kimber. I'm a UX designer. I currently work for a company called Sincerely Hers, but I picked the responsible consumption and production just because I think I kind of really appreciate the minimalist lifestyle and kind of not using more than we need and reusing what we do. Just in that way, we kind of are able to share our resources better instead of like competing for the limited resources that we already have and overusing.
Dave. No, Dave's trying to write something. I think he's trying to say he can't talk to us. Okay. All right. Well, yeah. If you scroll
Mike.
down, the next activity got here, products and needs. So the one thing that I was going to go over this if we were in breakout groups beforehand, but the idea here is let's pick a product, and then we all need to agree on one. It can be a T-shirt, a beverage, right, a milk jug, or milk. It can be a stool. I put here SaaS software. Software is challenging to think about sustainability and how it's sustainable, but we can pick any product. Any suggestions? An iPhone, a building, whatever you want.
I'm really interested in the sustainable packaging. That's something that just goes with everything we use all the time. There's like this mushroom packaging that's like biodegradable. Things like that. Things just like a T-shirt or a beverage, anything else needs to be shipped. So have like shipping like that packaging is.
Okay. Anybody second that? Food packaging.
I think I do, just because oftentimes, I see these really fancy design portfolios that show a really cool package, but it's got a lot of wasteful elements to it. It's way too much cardboard, way too much plastic. It's like, how can we really condense that into like maybe one piece of cardboard that can just be folded down into like something that can be closed,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
All right, let's do packaging. Do you want to do like takeout packaging? Or since we all probably have ordered a little bit more to take out than we used to.
Yeah, so the mushroom packaging, what sort of things come in that packaging?
I think it's kind of they've condensed it down like styrofoam. What company is recently switching to that? I think I wish I knew I could remember off the top of my head, but yeah, I mean, let me find some images and I'll throw it in Miro if I can.
Yeah, I mean,
sorry, Doug, didn't mean to derail, but
we're all hanging out now. So yeah, no, I think it's really about picking the thing and then talking about, so I would say, since we're interested in packaging, I think we need to think about the thing that is in the packaging, like what you're going for there, Carl, and then talk about designing it and then consider the packaging and other things that might come in. I mean, we could, I don't know. Let's see. Like, I always think the Apple products are like the packaging seems so
over-engineered.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's foam in there that you can't even see. It's just buried in the cardboard somewhere.
Yeah. Well, let's stick with food, like food packaging. So like a
sure
takeout package or something like that. So what are the needs that we have from a food package, takeout package? I'll just kind of and everybody.
I think for me, the biggest struggle with takeout food is, and I don't know that this addresses anything we're talking about, is getting home something that's still in a state that it's pleasant to eat and not just all soggy.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, to the left, there's some Post-it notes. Everybody can just grab anything, like what exactly you said, Carl, and just throw it on there. Like, what do we want out of food packaging?
Yeah, I'm saying reduction in number of packages because I don't know, like I like ramen and I've gotten takeout ramen and it comes in about 4 different types of packages. Because you got a bowl and then you got a cup of something that's all in these separate containers. And I get it. It's probably to avoid that thing that Carl was just saying of it's going to be a ruined gelatinous mess if I, get it home in one package. But I don't know. I'd have to compare separate packages to the whole package.
Yeah, portable for sure. Yeah. Yeah, there's almost two user types, right? The people taking it home. There's the, the people who purchase it, the food in that you're gonna take. Yeah.
Oh, one thing I can mention about reusable packaging that's kind of cool. I don't know if anybody's been to Amberson Coffee. It's off of South College. Um, they serve their lattes in glass jars with lids, and if you take the lid, if you take that jar back to them, I think you get a discount off your next drink.
Yeah.
So it's almost kind of like the Aldi model of, you know, uh, you're putting the coin back in the slot to put the cart back and stuff like that. It's kind of like, please return this bottle, and you'll get basically a deposit on it.
Mm-hmm.
Early in the last century, there used to be these bottles that were made of glass, and people would collect them and take them back to the store, and they'd get a little bit of money back, and then the factory would reuse them. But then somebody invented this stuff called plastic, and somebody convinced them that it would be a lot cheaper if we just made plastic containers and threw them away.
That is crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean, I lived when there was still bottle returns at like grocery stores.
You need to go back to that. I just actually signed up for like that food delivery thing, and so hope I get like just enough food, less food waste, and I can make meals. And like, I don't know if it's better or not, but we'll see.
Yeah, I work at a pizza place, so I know we use a lot of boxes, so I know how that goes, and just things being overused, even like TV boxes and stuff like that. I just hope like someone designed like, hey, putting like all these boxes outside for like the garbage, to be taken away. It's like, has anyone found a way where we can just like compost these like stuff like with some of the foods? I know there's some companies that do that. Like there's plastic, like their plastics they're compostable. I can't remember.
Yeah, but even it seems like someone should be able to create a pizza transportation box that's reusable, and you could do just like with reusable bottles. Customer goes to the store, picks up their pizza, it gets put in that box. You could maybe bought the pizza carrier from them in the first place, and you get a discount for reusing it. And then your company doesn't have to keep buying boxes that can't even be recycled because they're soiled with grease.
That's actually a great idea. I might have to bring that up to my boss, Carl.
Well, I moved to the next one. So the idea of this first one, right, is to give us all a sense for like what the value is to people, right? That the product delivered, right? Like it's easy to store food, it keeps it fresh, it helps you reheat it, easy to transport, doesn't leak, things like that are the needs. But then we kind of shift gears with this life cycle map. So if we think about food packaging, really we want to ideate around its current, how it's produced today. And so again, if you think about that linear model, down the left, there's design, material extraction, manufacturing. A pizza box is a great example, right? Like somebody has to you have to cut down trees, and you have to turn it into pulp, and you have to manufacture it into the box shape. You have to design the cover art.
Right, the logo.
You have to deliver it to the stores. Then we use it, and then we dispose of it, right? And where we put it. So those are kind of the stages. Then if you think about the columns or the rows, I'm sorry, and then the columns are are things like physical inputs. So like places, objects, materials, the trees, right? Processes would be like the different industries that turn it into pulp, and the people are the people. We have to think about I don't know. I'm picking on. Maybe I'll change from trees to plastics. The oil field workers who have to pump the oil or something,
Well, if you're talking about people, forestry, like down trees to make wood pulp, that's a really dangerous job, as it turns out.
Yeah, so let's just take time and any of those things, that we just talked about, like just throw Post-it notes in any of those steps where we think about takeout food packaging. Again, if it's helpful to think of a pizza box or something plastic and styrofoam or whatever that exists today, let's just describe, the people, the processes, and the input.
Yeah, I should mention that I did actually work at Pizza Hut in high school, so I'm quite familiar with folding tons and tons of pizza boxes and watching them go out the door, and who knows what happens after that.
I hate throwing them away. Like I don't want to put them in a trash bag. It like takes up so much room. Like pizza boxes are awkward and the worst.
Yeah, they'll just cut the bag open. Yeah, it's bad.
Or putting it in your refrigerator, it takes up. It's just
You have to
pizza boxes are awful. They're just the worst.
And that's just a standard large pizza. What about a big New Yorker? That's just not going to fit in the fridge.
So did you ever get paper cuts on the edges of the boxes?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
God, I hate those.
I think
you get good at avoiding the edges though, so yeah.
Okay, so under processes, I'm putting box folding.
Yep. I'm gonna try to throw in some more like styrofoam stuff too. What would that be?
So I'm putting a really specific one in here. The process of making those little tiny plastic discs with the 3 legs so the cardboard doesn't push into the pizza.
Yep.
Are those still a thing?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good. See,
So I don't eat pizza that much, so
We mostly do it for our deep dish because we're like a Chicago style based pizza, so we would put it in our deep dish, but on our traditional crispy or thin crispy, we don't butter.
Yeah, it's good to have that compare and contrast because I worked at Pizza Hut back in 2003, so it's been quite some time. So to see, the 20-year differences made a difference. And in some ways, yes, in some ways, no.
Yeah, we go through a lot. Like on Friday nights are like busy. We probably like fill like maybe 200, 300 large boxes. And then sometimes there's mess up. So now there's just a pizza. There's a pizza with a box in it. Like, it's like no one's going to eat that because it's a black olive pizza. No offense to people that like black olive pizza. But you get in that situation. Like, well, now we're throwing a box in food. It's just like, yeah.
We used to actually freeze pizzas that the customers didn't want or whatever. We'd freeze them and then actually send them out to like second helpings and stuff like that. So
that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I worked on Pita Bread for a while in like high school, and at the end of the night, they would always donate their leftover food to food pantries and homeless shelters and stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I did a project. We were trying to do one of like food wasting. It got like to a point where everything was like you have to have like these food in a certain like temperature level storage and stuff like that. So it got very complicated. So we kind of just switched it to like let's just make everything into a composting app where you just like compost all your food into a thing. And it, like compost it for you.
The thing that's interesting about pizza too, you know how the major holidays, of course, Christmas, and there's the big mad dash and rush and insanity. Well, holiday in pizza world is Super Bowl Sunday. Nobody gets that day off. Nobody. I think one person got that day off out of like a team of 25.
Yeah, so you could do the similar type exercise wherever each of you work, right? Like you could bring a team of people together, because this is hard for me personally to know all the different, like I don't know how cardboard boxes are made necessarily in detail. We could probably find it on the internet, but like if you were a cardboard box company, right, you could come together and bring people who have experience from these different rows or phases of the production process and all contribute to this in a way that then lets you understand the scope of the problem more holistically. Kind of the impact you make on the world by producing these cardboard boxes or whatever.
Yep. You'd probably learn stuff you didn't even know you didn't know.
Yeah.
So one point I kind of put here next to whoever put waste food in the manufacturing is using the foods and veggies that we consider ugly as part of the process, right? Because I mean, you're just going to cut them up and put them on a pizza anyway. So
Sure.
use the weird imperfect tomatoes and all that kind of stuff, and just make sure you use that kind of stuff in some point of the process of food making.
That's cool.
Yeah, because I mean that's been kind of a trend recently. I think there's some startups that'll actually give you imperfect produce to your door for like.
That's like the company's name is Imperfect Produce, like Imperfect Produce. So
Exactly.
it's like a grocery delivery service.
How's everybody feeling about this? Do we feel like we've got enough stuff on here? Get the general idea?
Looks like we got something in every cell.
Yeah. Are we slowing down?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's take green voting dots. They're up on the upper left there of this. Everybody can have 3 dots, and you can place all 3 on one, or you can spread them around. You can place them on yours, what have you, but put them on the sticky notes. You may have to bring them to the front. If you copy and paste a lot of times, they'll go on top of the note. But paste them on the places that the notes where you think that we want to explore making that process, or I guess that row more sustainable, more circular, right? We reuse it, we get more value out of it, that kind of thing. We recycle it. There's a way to start ideating a more circular solution to take out food packaging.
So do you want us to put it on a sticky note or on a row?
On a sticky
on
note.
this particular sticky note, okay.
I'm using really big dots because it's hard to grab those little tiny ones.
It is, yeah, unless you zoom in. That's the problem.
I have a scroll wheel on my mouse, makes it really easy to zoom in and out.
Oh, yeah.
So if you have one of those.
Yeah, you just gotta be careful, don't zoom out too hard or it's gonna start lagging, and yeah.
I think Control Plus and minus also do. It's a little weird though. It does my whole screen this way. You hold the space bar, you can move around pretty easily. I don't know the best way.
Got my 3. Let me know when everybody's done.
Okay, I think I'm done. Like a box hanging out here.
Well, it looks like
IKEA has started using mushroom-based packaging. Maybe that's who you were thinking of, Kimberly.
that's what she posted in the chat.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, IKEA is switching to biodegradable packaging made from mushrooms.
Oh, nice.
So I'm looking at this board, and it looks like something we want to do something about the grease in the package. Let's see, grease soiled cardboard, and then the box structural engineering. So I'm gonna go to the next exercise here. Everybody wants to scroll down. Packaging. So now we're gonna ideate different solutions to make food packaging more circular. We've been gravitating towards pizza boxes. We said we think we can improve the circularity, if that's a word, of pizza boxes, right? By addressing the grease soiled cardboard, right? And then box structural engineering, which I don't. If whoever wrote that, could somebody expand on box structural engineering for me?
Yeah, that was me that wrote that. But I guess I was thinking about just just reducing the amount of material used and still maintaining the usefulness of the design, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So the way we can do this is each of the rows has, again, the phases, and there's some kind of bullet points. They're kind of questions or statement starters, right, to help us think about unique ways to ideate within each of those sections. So different business models or subscription services. So could you, I don't know, maybe somebody was mentioning earlier, find out a way to not use cardboard at all, right? Is there a different way of doing that? Or is there a company that's like a pallet company that, owns the pallets that ship products? So is there some company that owns the pizza boxes or something like that? So there's different business models. So you can go down to like even manufacturing. So ethical treatment of workers or organisms, right? Is there some way to, if we're going to use trees, is there some way to, or mushrooms or something, is there some different way to get the material to manufacture it, all the way through, to the bottom one, which is recapture, right? So instead of, after we use the pizza box, can it be designed differently? Go back to the structural engineering as a way to, can we use it in our home to store leftovers later, right? So whatever any ideas we want to think about, degrease or use the grease in the cardboard, anything. Yeah, you guys are already going, so ideate away. There is one in that product service concept design. It's called embedding intelligence or other technologies. Love to see a smart pizza box. So yeah, I just wrote food is the packaging. That's probably unrealistic, but it's okay to say things that may appear to be bad ideas. Because
Well,
so anyway, don't
well,
be.
Yeah, I was doing something similar with the idea of having the pizza oven on wheels so it comes directly to your house and you put it on your cutting board. There's no box.
Yeah.
And all right, just like leave your like maybe I don't know like I don't know, it could be like plastic even though it sucks, but it's yours and you did it outside and they come and put it in there for you in the box and you bring it inside.
well, one thing.
But then you have to touch it, right? Like people touch it, right?
Right.
One thing that was really weird is there was like this old, I don't know, it was suggested to me on YouTube. It was an old 1960s kitchen of the future, right? And they had like you would eat off dishes that you could also eat. So it was a fully edible thing, or you could have dishes that you would eat off of that weren't edible, but then you could dump them in this smelter, and it would just re-smelt it into a new plate or a bowl or something. And it was like, okay, I mean that's again wildly crazy and maybe possible, but I think it goes along those lines you're just talking about. I like that.
Laser print your food.
What was that?
Laser print your food.
Yeah, there you go. Or robot. Yes, robot delivery or something.
There, you can print some foods like
I
chocolate.
feel like I heard that. Like I feel like
Yeah.
actually
There are 3D printers that will print, I think, chocolate and cheese.
Can you 3D print like a
Cheese.
fruit roll up yet? Or
just use some tamarind.
I sort of have to imagine that all fruit roll-ups are made that way and always have been.
yeah, you're right. They just pour it out and flatten it. You're right. Yeah.
I just eat a tamarind. Like it literally tastes like a fruit roll up just by itself. Really does. Just eat tamarind.
Do you have to peel it or anything, or you just eat the whole thing?
I think you have to like maybe open it. I can't remember. You might eat the whole thing.
I don't know. Sounds like hard work.
Yeah, you know you have to open it up. It's like kind of like a peanut, but you just eat the inside. That's all I gotta do.
That's not bad. And then you got the compostable shell you can just throw in the yard, I guess, right?
Yeah.
No, I think I've even seen some consumer materials that like paper or something that actually have like grass seeds embedded in them or something like that. So you can like literally plant them and the seeds help them break down.
There was a whole like fiasco with Cheerios last year where they sent out packets of seeds in like their cereal, but they like ended up having like what are they called? The invasive species in them.
Oh no.
Bad.
And they're like, no, plant those seeds. Never mind, just kidding. No.
Yeah, they give you honeysuckle seeds and just take it to your yard.
They were trying to like help feed the bees, and it was admirable, but they didn't really research the seeds they were.
Why don't they just do sunflowers or something basic?
Why don't we just not like just keep dandelions around? That helps.
Well, everything's an invasive species somewhere.
True.
Yeah. I mean, really, when you distill everything down to its core, everything is a problem. There's a problem associated with everything, I think. Somehow. I don't know.
It's only a problem if someone perceives it as a problem.
I just had this blank post-it just sitting there for a long time.
I think moderation's a big thing for a lot of things. We don't tend to go too far one way or the other.
Yeah, when I was researching some of this, they talked about encouraging the wrong behaviors, right? So if everything is recyclable, then are you only encouraging people to consume more? And so you're not really helping anything. You're just kind of, you're encouraging the wrong behavior, if you will.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. when using less is really a much better behavior than encouraging recycling. And also, recycling has so many problems where so much of what is put into recycling actually gets thrown out as waste because it's not in a recyclable state.
Or people just don't buy it. Like I think only like 20% of what actually makes it to recycling is being used anyway. There's not a market for it. And so it's like people are doing it, but it doesn't really matter anyways. It's there. It's kind of awful.
Well, then you have stuff that just can't be recycled at all, right? Like diapers.
Yeah. I mean, we always have trash.
The things that, I was talking about the Coke bottles and stuff like that. The worst thing that happened there is after they started making all the disposable packaging, littering massively went up. I mean, the word littering did not exist before that. It was made by those industries to blame consumers for throwing away this unreusable packaging that they were now selling to consumers. And so they passed along the blame for all that waste instead of taking responsibility for it.
I did write ditch in the disposable row from the previous exercise. So yeah, it does end up in the ditch. Is there another like company or partner that would use, I don't know, the grease-soaked liner? I liked that idea, right? The liner absorbs the grease. Then what can you do with the grease? Like I've heard, does anybody have an idea of like what do you do with that thing now?
Biofuel.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
There you go. So
yeah, because KFC did that for a second, right? KFC was recycling their grease trap oil for biofuel, I think.
I think so, yeah.
I'm just going to add biofuel.
The thing is, it's like, how do you incentivize to keep doing that, though? Because I think KFC stopped doing it. So it's almost like a PR move. And then
it makes your car smell great.
Gross.
Yeah.
French fries or pizza.
Well, I'm sure the KF console is going to really make your house smell good, too. But
I think I decline.
So what do they do with those mushroom packaging? Is that just stuff that you still throw it away, but it biodegrades in the environment?
Yeah. I think it's better than like styrofoam that takes, can't really remember how long, but I think it's one of the longest things to biodegrade. Yeah. Where this it's way more biodegradable.
Mm-hmm. It's a low bar, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's you want to keep things safe. It's still like, hey, we're shipping things, but how do we help that?
Yeah,
it still doesn't kind of. Consumerism is like, I think, a huge problem. I don't know if the materials themselves are that bad, but it's like the irresponsibleness of like how we consume products, and we have this throwaway culture and things don't last as long. So it's just like we need to buy more and more and more, and then we have more and more waste.
The thing that's crazy to me is some of these concepts you're taught in like elementary school, and then you literally never hear about them again. Like the time that a diaper takes to biodegrade is 500 years. I remember that from elementary school. Never heard about it since then. It's almost like nobody really thinks about it unless you're having this kind of conversation.
Though.
Yeah, I think it's cloth diapers.
If you've had to deal with diapers on your own kids, like, man, I don't want to reuse this thing.
So yeah, the mushroom thing, like, is there some way rather than, so I was reading over here, right, like infinitely recyclable or biodegradable, like can you have would people return, the mushroom packaging and you put them on the field or something? It's like there's some way to, like, how do you make this loop? You have something like a package that's made out of mushrooms. How can you use it to grow more mushrooms or whatever? Like, because there's some loop you could
Well,
get
the spores could probably be embedded in it. I'm sure the intention is that it's going to break down someplace.
Well,
they're intended to be reused, but that would be better.
Like, how can the company who makes it, right, the packaging in the first place, how can they benefit from the mushrooms biodegrading? Like, can they have it returned to them and they put it on their own mushroom growing pile or something?
Once the mushroom, or once it's turned into packaging, is it inert? Like it's basically like dead. It's just a husk at that point, or I'm just not sure how the.
I think you could probably think of it as like a variant on paper. I mean, it's using the fibers.
Oh, so it's not actually grown into the shape of the package. It's like it's processed, right? Like,
I think so.
I agree. I think so as well. You'd have to read more about it. I don't know everything about it, but I think it is kind of like it's just made from them, and it's something that they do afterwards. Similar to like hemp, you can even use hemp, and that grows a lot quicker than trees, and it's a lot better option for paper and packaging. It doesn't take nearly as long to grow, and it's not as bad too. I don't know. There's better options. We just need to use them, I think.
I think the key too with some of this is not over reliance on one particular veggie or type of oil or type of paper or type of plant. Because like do you have mushroom packaging but also carrot packaging or cauliflower packaging, or you know what I mean? I mean, you already have cauliflower crust on your pizza, right? So you might as well just have the cauliflower packaging too.
Or I see like the things that they do, like with shampoo, it's like a bar, or they reduce kind of the need for a lot of different packaging. It's fascinating if you kind of look for it. There's a lot of things people are doing to kind of help eliminate packaging, or at least make it to where it's useful.
Now, does dry shampoo kind of factor into better packaging because it's in a dry state, so you could put it in cardboard instead of in plastic? Like
part of it is it's a smaller container because you're not shipping and storing all of the moisture.
I think it depends on what you mean, like dry shampoo. Like I think of like the aerosol can, and that's not any better because it's aerosol, two, you still have this like metal can. But the bar shampoo things that I'm seeing, or the laundry detergent that are like kind of sheets or paper towels that are reusable, washable, or whatever. I've seen like honey. Paper kind of like Tupperware things, like food, instead of like plastic wrap, it's like you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Yeah, it's like kind of, it's like I know it's like something to do with like honey or whatever, but it's bendable. It's like beeswax almost, and it will last a lot longer than like saran wrap or plastic bags.
I wrote that on there, honey plastic.
Yeah. You'll have to look it up. I've seen it. Like maybe now Google will know that you've heard about it and just start advertising to you.
Honey packaging
all year around.
Now, does that qualify as packaging you can eat?
I don't think it's edible. I think it's. I wouldn't want to just eat a thing of like a bar of beeswax. It doesn't seem very edible. But.
Yeah, I guess you got a point.
All right, I feel like we're probably running out of steam on the ideas here. What we can do now, again, with 3 voting dots, you can vote on your own. You can vote on, in this case, you can put them all on the same one, but what I'm suggesting is it looks like there may be some things, some ways to combine ideas in here. So let's vote first on on the ideas we think are kind of interesting, that we kind of want to explore as a way to make the product circular, and then let's talk through those top voted ideas and see if there's a way to combine them into something. So,
Did you see the weather?
All right.
I'm done. I got mine on. Who's left? Just ask. Nobody? All right. So let's grab these that were voted on together and just kind of, I guess, to the right. Let's just throw them over there, copy them over. I'll do that. We got, or anybody can help me out if you want.
I don't know how to grab all of it, so.
Yeah, it's all right. All right, so yeah, let's group these together, like similar types of things. Got a subscription. Obviously, everybody like reusable boxes, starter logs for bonfires. Yeah, so we've got subscriptions. So like, let's put a pile of like reuse area. Got reuse. We've got using for something else. Prime subscription, pizza on wheels, like a different way of delivery. Box pizzas, folding the box into something else. Okay, yeah, that's probably with the bonfires. Service to pick up the old pizzas, stacking multiple pizzas. Food is the package, lease packaging. That's like a subscription. Grease-soaked liner used for energy. Using it for other foods. Okay. Biodegradable box. Where do you think that one fits? Maybe it doesn't. That's okay. Reusable boxes. That's more. I'm gonna stick it with food as the packaging. So kind of got like 4 little groups of things. Does that make sense to other people? Does my mental model of how to sort these things align with anyone else's?
Yeah, I'd say it works.
Yeah,
But you can almost maybe draw some boxes around the groups
Yeah.
too, if you wanted.
Well, I'm just going to cut these and move them to the next. If you scroll down to the circular concept, I'm just going to throw them in this concept sketch area. So we look at recapture, like where we've got biodegradable box or food as the packaging. That's kind of like, oh, what would you say? Recycling, if you will. It's like getting it back to raw materials. Like what I was going to suggest is we kind of we wanted to take all these ideas, and maybe they don't all fit, but we describe some more circular process, right? We're using the model of circular concepts. Like I just put the biodegradable box. So when we get our pizza, we recapture the value of the box by making it biodegradable, and it goes back into the earth as a raw material. If we want to stack multiple pizzas, right, that feels to me like marketing or packaging and delivery, right? Like that's a way to use the packaging more effectively. Reverse delivery is like the manufacturing or production, maybe, sort of. For reusable boxes, like purchase and like the consumer can reuse them. I don't know. That's kind of the idea behind this step. I don't know if any of those make sense, but those are different ways we could kind of think about these sticky notes. We grab folding the box into a new shape would be another consumer reuse. Pressing the old cardboard together, so that would be almost to make bonfires. What do we think? Is that like?
I feel like is that recapture, or is recapture the goal?
Yeah, recapture is we got them. Like, how do we get them back, and where do they go? Is it like a whole new product? It's almost like a new product, right?
Yeah, I feel like it is. Yeah.
And then the liners could be used for energy and manufacturing. I don't know, the grease. Do we change the size of the box to be used for other foods? Is that something that the consumer does? Is that something that we get the box back and do it? I don't know.
Oh, that one's maybe marketing and packaging and delivery, right?
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Mm-hmm. So the other three, Prime subscription, pizza oven on wheels, lease packaging, those are almost completely new business concepts in a way, right? Like they get rid of the idea of packaging anyway. They're going to put them over here in product and service design.
Yeah, because pizza oven on wheels, that's almost Papa Murphy's, but a step further even.
So let's take, I think we need a way to kind of choose themes that we want to, can we do all of this in our new model or our new concept, or is this more than one concept?
Food truck.
Food truck, yeah.
I think reusable packaging and biodegradable packaging are sort of diametrically opposed. I mean, I guess it depends how many times it can be reused, or if it's yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point. So do we want to go down the reusable path or the biodegradable path?
Probably reusable.
Okay. Getting rid
Be
of
like a food truck or something that like I mean if, it depends on who's making it. That's like one business model. Like someone have to make like the reusable packaging, but you could be like a food truck that's like bring your pizza box and we'll cook it and put it in your pizza box. And
yeah. Okay. So who wants to draw? Anybody? I put this as an optional step in the real life, but I think that drawing that concept, Kimber, that you just described, like the idea of a food truck that delivers, that shows up in the neighborhood, and you can bring your pizza box to it, in a way. Like that's kind of that drawing a picture of a truck and somebody bringing their pizza, whatever storyboard kind of thing. That's what you want to do, and if we were really doing this, right? Is teams kind of draw that out.
Okay, hold on. We're gonna do this. Maybe I don't know. Am I?
Oh, nice.
Somebody's doing it. Somebody's doing it for me. I'll come down here. We got our chalk.
I love it.
A person here holding his pizza box. And like giving the pizza and the person and the sorry, I'm narrating as I do this. So, okay. That's what you get.
I dig it. All right, so then below, there's this idea of like the rationale for this idea of the truck delivering in the reusable pizza boxes and stuff. So, the questions are what makes this concept circular? Like, well, how does it make, reuse materials, or is it regenerate the environment or reduce consumption? Let me bring you all here. In what ways is the user experience improved? What's better about it? Is it cheaper? Is it more practical? Is it what would be required that doesn't exist today? How would the business model be impacted? And what should we do next? Right. So you'd want to answer these kinds of questions as a group, as a team, and we can do that, right? If we want to just quickly brainstorm, what we feel, just grab some Post-it notes and throw in there and try to answer each one of these questions really quickly. I'll say,
I think one thing maybe I don't know if this is something we brought up, but one thing that could be explored is the idea of redesigning the shape of the pizza itself.
mm-hmm.
Like if the truck pulls up to your house and it's cooked in the truck, and I don't know, what if they handed you a pizza that was on a string and you just held it by the string and ate it that way? I don't know.
I feel like it would flop around. And then if you talk about those like deep dish pizzas, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So pizza on a stick.
Pizza on a stick, maybe.
On a stick, yeah.
Deep fried pizza on a stick, and you could sell it at the state fair.
Oh, so it's like a pizza corn dog.
Yeah.
Is it like a calzone? Like a calzone on a stick?
Yeah.
Oh, calzone.
But then you wouldn't need a box. Just a lot of napkins.
Yeah. Or I think a calzone on a stick could be quite doable, actually.
I'd try that. Somebody sold me one.
Okay, so I'm So yeah, again, if you were to do this in real life, you need to spend a little more time on this and kind of come up with ideas. The big one at the end is what should be done next. Like essentially what hypothesis, in any design thinking exercise, right? You want to say what is the thing that's most important that we find out if it doesn't work or not. Find out if it works or not, right? So whatever if we think about this concept,